Hey, C,
Right, Sarah.
what are you drinking?
I'm drinking tea from Harrogate in the UK. It's called Yorkshire tea, and personally, I think
Nice.
it's the best tea made in the UK. Black tea.
Well, wait a minute now, because I've got a cup of black tea as well, but it's from Wales. I think it's called
Ah,
Glenfiddich.
well, we could have a battle of the English
Just
and Welsh teas, right?
Battle of the English and Welsh, reliving history. Now let's not go there.
No, I'd like to try that.
No. So you are wearing a very exciting, is it
I
a
know.
jumper?
Do you like it? No, it's like a shawl or a poncho or
I
something.
I love it. I love it.
This is
Why
a
are you
present
wearing it?
from a friend recently that came to stay with us. It's beautiful, isn't it? I'm
It
wearing it
is.
because as of tomorrow, which is the 1st of June, it's Pride Month. Yeah, cool. A very
Pride
important
Month.
month. It honors the movement of gay rights. It celebrates gay culture. It's all good and it's very much needed right now, right?
Absolutely. So you and I are big fans of Pride Month anyway, personally.
Yeah.
But it's something that should be celebrated and included generally because especially now we're seeing a lot of there's huge waves of violence all over the world against LGBTQIA plus communities. I mean, it's been criminalized in some countries, queer identities.
Very
It's
recently, yeah.
excluded from some school systems, the don't say gay laws and so on. And,
Yeah.
certain groups within the LGBTQIA communities becoming, more and more vulnerable. And I'm thinking specifically of transgender people and gender diverse, gender creative people as well, right?
Yeah, and it's having a huge effect on mental illness, suicides. The rate's going up, isn't it? It's super important that we use this month to educate and to include.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and to make it part of our classroom, right? Because this affects many of our students, many of our colleagues, and so on. And their identities deserve to be respected. So how do you go about kind of celebrating Pride Month with your students?
Yeah, it's very often the question, isn't it? Because we can talk about it and say how really beneficial it is to do, but how do we do it? And I think, I mean, for me, I start with young learners, start with picture books like this one. Have you heard of this one?
Julian is a mermaid. Tell me about this one.
So this is amazing illustrations. But basically, Julian likes to dress up as a mermaid, right?
Love
And
it.
the book is about his abuela, his grandmother, who encourages this. And yeah, I won't give anything else away, but if it doesn't make you cry at the end, something wrong with you.
I
It's
love the sound of Julian and his abuela already.
yeah, it's something else. It's something else. And
And
then
just to be clear here, so you're talking about young learners, perhaps primary age student. What we're really exploring here is gender identity, and that's different to sexual orientation, isn't it? It's how
yeah,
you present gender, how you perform gender,
yeah,
your gender expression.
and perhaps
Um,
kind of it goes beyond the binary of male female as well. So, for
right.
example, myself, I don't I don't identify as being male or female, which hence I have they, them as a pronoun. Yeah. No, it's not the same as sexual orientation. It's how you express yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is something that we see children playing with and being aware of, right? So we're kind of introducing them to characters that maybe are similar to them, or perhaps are just a little different from them, but relatable all the same.
Yeah.
Are there any other books
I think,
that
unfortunately,
sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, society sort of brings up, boys to play football and never to play with dolls, and girls to play with dolls but never to play football, and we need to sort of like get rid of that.
And even just that there are boys and girls, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing else
nothing else. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And let kids express themselves how they want to express themselves, which this is another book that deals with this very beautifully, perfectly Norman. And Norman one day wakes up with beautiful, colourful wings.
Can I see them?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
But he realizes very quickly that that's different to all the other kids. And so he puts on a red jacket, a red coat, and he starts to sort of realize that he can't do the things that he wants to do. He can't play. That's my dog. He can't play with the other kids. He can't swim when they go swimming. And then with a little encouragement from his parents, he gets the courage to take off his jacket. And then other children who are like him also take off their jackets and they go flying together.
I love that Norman had never felt so happy, right? And that is happiness. It's being true to yourself, or being seen for who you are, right? Not what society thinks we are.
There shouldn't be constraints on that.
Yeah, right. There are some also some really nice kind of teen literature as well. For example, a really nice one, I don't have a copy here, is by Cahill, Rethinking Normal, a memoir in transition. Jennings, Being Jazz, My Life as a Transgender Teen. Beyond Magenta, I'm not saying that right, Transgender Teens Speak Out. And then, of course, there's some really, really lovely resources to help students understand what gender expression, what gender identity is, and how that can be very different. It doesn't always align with biological sex. I'm really thinking of the Genderbread person. If you go to www.genderbread.org, they've got some really lovely resources, and there's the trans student educational resources as well if you Google TSER. And of course, talking about teaching, affirming and recognizing trans and gender creative youth, this book by S.J. Miller, you can see, is very well read in this household. Miller talks about queer pedagogies, queer literature framework, and it's not just beneficial for students who identify as queer, but all students, right? It's a kind of social justice framework that we're looking at.
There's some great ideas for the classroom in there using that literacy framework as well. Yeah,
exactly right.
And what are we doing at the moment, Sarah?
Well, yeah. So we've got an eltonix bites course on teaching and empowering transgender students. I think that's coming up later this year, right? Anyway, you can check that out at our website if you go to www.eltonix.com, and then you go and check out our eltonix bites courses. We do have a course there, and of course, This is all informed by transgender youth who we spoke to quite extensively, and who kind of helped us build this course as well. So that was really kind of, it's a really important course to us. It's something that means a lot to us. What else have we got going on, Claire?
Yeah, well, that's going to also transform into a book that we're working on. And I think what's really important about both these things that we do, and unfortunately doesn't get talked about much in conferences and things like that, is how to do this in the classroom. And so we have very practical ideas and how you can use, for example, picture books, but also frameworks and ideas to celebrate this diversity.
Yeah. Watch out for that. We'll of course, there'll be a big announcement when that's ready for
Huge
publication.
announcement. Anna will have more grey hairs.
And me as well. You just can't see mine.
We're going to put all those books and links in the comments below. Please celebrate the month of June, Pride Month. Have fun
with us. Yeah, enjoy it.
Go and be yourselves.